Hey everyone, I'm Bryant, and today I'm going to tell you the 5 steps I took to make over $1,000 on Fiverr. If you don't know what Fiverr is, it's a freelance service platform for mainly digital services, and a lot of them start at only $5, hence the name, Fiverr. Individual people or companies will offer services such as website design, page marketing, logo design, book editing, basically anything that can be done online. The main gig I offer is screenplay feedback. Writers send me their scripts and I give them notes, which cost between $10 and $55 depending on the page length of their screenplay. I also have another gig where I help people budget out their short films. To this date, I've managed to make $1,294, which isn't bad for side income. This is going to be a high-level overview, and I'm going to include all of the lessons I learned along the way so you don't have to go in blind like I did, and to give you the best chance of success on the platform. Here we go. The first step to being successful on Fiverr is choosing the right service to offer for you. The 2 factors I always take into account when deciding this is you want to choose a skill or service you're competent at and you want to be better at. Competent means the ability to do something successfully and efficiently, such as efficiently hitting that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Competence does not mean you have to be a master at it. If you are a master at your craft, Fiverr might not be the best fit just because it's known for being on the cheaper side and you need to charge what you're worth. But on the flip side, do not sell website design just because you've made a few Squarespace websites. Make sure you have a proven track record of being able to accomplish the task you're selling. I'm not Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino when it comes to writing, but when I offered my first gig, I had been writing consistently for 3 years. I had given feedback to friends and strangers. I had also read books, taken courses, placed in a few competitions. I had a good foundation, aka competence, in the writing field. If you're good at a couple of things and you still don't know which to build a business around, that's why I included that second factor, which is you should choose something you want to get better at. In my case, I love writing and analyzing stories, and every time I gave feedback to a client, I was also learning and growing. It's that old saying that the students taught me more than I ever could, and it's super duper cliche, but it's also true. A fair question would be, if the clients are paying me, why should I be entitled to learn anything? The answer is easy. It's because you'll actually provide a better service. If the value you receive from doing the service is not just monetary, you're going to have a more positive experience, and that's going to reflect on the service you provide. When I'm working on screenplay feedback, whatever lessons about story structure or character development I'm taking for myself will also be the same ones I share with my client. This also helps battle against complacency and quality reduction in your work. Once you go through as many clients as I have, you're bound to get complacent. And had I not chosen a gig that I genuinely loved and had more I wanted to learn in, I wouldn't have had the longevity it took to achieve level 1 seller status and have the number of happy clients I do. Okay, so now you've chosen a gig, it's time to price it. And this is where we have to play the marketing game a little. And on a site called Fiverr, my second tip is price it as low as you're willing to go, at least when you get started. There are very high quality services on Fiverr, some that cost over $1,000, but the beauty of Fiverr for most buyers is its incredibly competitive price points. When I started, I priced my lowest tier gig at, you guessed it, $5. So if any buyers sorted by price, they would have a good chance of seeing me. I wasn't offering to read their movie-length screenplays for $5 though. My $5 gig was to read anything 10 pages or less. It's something that would take me less than an hour to do, still a terrible rate of return, but at this beginning stage, we're just trying to get good reviews and build up our reputation. In Fiverr, one of the default pricing ranges gives you 3 tiers, which is basic, standard, and premium. So my mid-tier or standard gig, I would charge $15 or $20, and that would be for a TV pilot or anything between 15 and 75 pages. I was still underpaying myself, but it's definitely a more tangible amount of money compared to $5. Your cheapest option is almost like a free trial. Even today, I still price my short option for $10, and that's for anything under 15 pages. This technique of having a cheaper option with more expensive upsells is very, very common. Think of your cheapest option as a trial. If you do a good job for that basic gig, they will come back. I'm still making very little at $10, but back to my first tip, that's why it's important to find something you enjoy. I know that I can do a good job at that level. I'm getting positive reviews, and yeah, I like it. I feel good giving feedback to people. There are some gigs though that I would never ever price at $5, like designing a whole website. That's just too much work for you to price that low. But you have to do what it takes to get those early reviews. And it should be a given, but make sure all of those early reviews, if you're not paying yourself, you better be doing 5-star work. After every couple of orders, you can push your price up by increments of $5 or $10 and see how the market responds. Test it out. It's different in every space. I'm priced a lot higher than I was, and I probably get less orders due to that reason. But for the gigs I do take, I feel like I'm getting a reasonable rate and I can provide a high quality of service. Delivery time is also something you could be competitive on. So look at your competitors in the space. If they are taking 3 or 4 days to do it, see if you can do it in 3 or 2 days. That might be the difference in them choosing you over them. This also depends on your schedule and your gig though, so it's okay if you can't do it faster. You definitely never ever want to be late. So always set enough time for yourself, but it is a good place to give yourself an edge if you can do it. So you've decided on your gig, you've decided on your price point. Now you have to think about what exactly it is you're selling. That means making sure your description is clear and honest. And by honest, I mean you know exactly what you're providing to your customer and they know exactly what they're getting. This is how you ensure a happy customer. You never want to overpromise what you can't deliver. With gigs that require more clarity and more details, always have them contact you first before ordering. On my making a budget gig, it's very clear. I tell them, please contact me before ordering. And the reason is there are many people who contact me and want to budget on a certain software, or they want to pitch directly with studio investors. And for those, I always say no. This is not what this gig is, and they'd be disappointed if they order from me expecting that. I can only budget out based on the information they give me and on the software I have. Anything else is outside of the scope of what I'm offering. Certain gigs like proofreading, you don't need much clarification for, so you don't have to have them message you. But if you're building a website or you need a specific marketing plan, have them contact you first. You want to make your clients want you and the service you provide, not an idea of a service they have in their head. I'm going to give you one more example just because this is really important. For my screenplay feedback service, a lot of people contact me expecting a validation or a grade for their screenplay. And again, that is not what I offer. My feedback is to try to make their story stronger, no matter what stage it's at. I'm not there to judge them or pat them on the back or tell them how good it is. Make sure you know what you're offering, what they're receiving, to minimize any headaches or potential negative reviews down the line. I'll be honest, giving feedback for screenplays, I would get pretty nervous because my goal is to pick apart, the weak points in their story. And I was afraid that they wouldn't take it well and I would get bad reviews. But because my description is very clear, and most of the times they are reading descriptions when they're comparing reviewers, and there's a lot of screenplay reviewers and note givers. When they hire me, 9 times out of 10, they hire me because they want what I'm offering. And when they hire you, they hired you for a reason. So be confident in providing the service that you've stated. Step number 4 is write detailed requirements. After a buyer has purchased your gig, they will be taken to a page where they have the option to message you what they need. This is also the place where you as the seller can write your requirements or the questions you want answered before starting your work. This includes any attachments, notes, anything you might need to accomplish the task you're hired for. If you are designing a website, you might ask for their logo if they have one, what colors they like, any reference websites that they want you to look at. For my budgeting gig, I always ask the same questions. What is your targeted budget? What's your genre and page length of your story? Please send me a synopsis of your story and a script if possible. I definitely found myself asking these same questions over and over again, and had I just utilized this requirement section from the start, I would have saved myself a lot of time. There will still be clients that don't fill them out and you'll have to manually follow up with them, but a lot of people do. and you'll have what you need to get started right away. If they do decide to hire you, make sure you are also replying right away. It doesn't have to be too detailed, just an acknowledgement that you received their order and you'll get to it as soon as possible. This is a metric that Fiverr follows. It's a little bit annoying, but I understand the value of it. And also remember that when someone pays you, you're not just responsible for that specific task. That's not what a service provider does. You're responsible for just a full experience. So if you have any questions about what they want, ask them, talk to them, just be nice and talk to them like people, and that'll really take you a long way in giving them a good experience. And this last step is more of a mindset, but it's just make sure you do the best job you can, but set a working time limit for yourself. It's rare, but I have been in situations where clients ask for more than what they ordered. They'll order a 10-page read and they'll send me something with 20 pages. You have to take it case by case and be flexible. But at the end of the day, it's not worth it if you feel cheapened or used by a client. And that applies to all types of services or jobs, not just Fiverr. But it could feel a little bit touchier on Fiverr because you're just typing to each other and people can be more demanding where there's not face-to-face interaction. So don't lose sight that you guys are both people. In the beginning, before you have a lot of reviews and your client's asking you to do a little bit more, I would suck it up. You might be putting in hours of work for just $5 and it's not going to feel good, but think of it as an internship and you're proving yourself to the client and the platform that you can do this, at least for your first 5 to 10 gigs. I would say after the 5th gig, think about what you'd really want to charge, what a fair rate is, and work towards that. If you're competent at this gig you've chosen, it should not be back-breaking work. If more work or revisions are required from your client, make it an add-on that they have to pay $5, $10, $20 to get more work from you. You have to value your own time and you should never sacrifice your life to please an unreasonable client. It's just not sustainable. If the website was called Thousander though, instead of Fiverr, I might be able to take more unreasonableness. In summary, find a service you're competent at and passionate about. Price it as competitively as possible and adjust your rate as you build your ratings and client base. Clarify the details of what you're selling and provide the best possible service while maintaining boundaries for yourself and your clients. Fiverr is such a cool and easy platform to use with a low barrier of entry. My experience has been overwhelmingly positive because everyone on there is hustlers. Sellers are trying to make money, sometimes it's their full-time business, and people buying services are often using that help to build their own businesses. So there's just a great shared energy of let's get stuff done. If you have a skill or anything you're good at, I would try to sell it on Fiverr and let me know how it goes. I also have a referral link in the description box below for 20% off your first order on Fiverr, up to $100 off. So please use that link if you want to try it out and support my channel. I appreciate it. That's all I got. Please hit like and subscribe if that was helpful. I will also be coming out with a video on how to find the best gigs to purchase from a buyer's point of view. I've spent a good amount of money on Fiverr, sometimes with great results, some not so good, and I'll give you my tips on how to find the best value for your dollars. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. What are you going to try to sell on Fiverr? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll give you my thoughts.